In a world saturated with noise where every opinion is shouted and every headline screams for attention, two figures have emerged, capturing the zeitgeist of modern combat sports. On one side, we have Gervonta "Tank" Davis, a prodigy from the harsh streets of Baltimore, a silent assassin whose fists speak a language of brutal poetry. His record isn't just a string of wins. It's a testament to a life dedicated to the sweet science, a legacy forged in discipline and devastating power. He is, by all accounts, the real deal. A world champion in multiple weight classes, a fighter's fighter. On the other side stands Jake Paul, a name that just a few years ago was synonymous with YouTube pranks and digital fame. Today, he's a lightning rod in the boxing world, a self-proclaimed problem child who has traded viral videos for viral knockouts. He's brash, he's loud, and he's undeniably dedicated. While purists may scoff, his ability to draw eyeballs and generate millions is unquestionable. He's not just fighting opponents in the ring. He's fighting for respect, for a place in a world that didn't want to let him in. Now, imagine these two forces of nature, these polar opposites, sitting across from one of the most probing interviewers of our time, Piers Morgan. The setting isn't a press conference stage with screaming fans and entourages. It's an intimate, stripped-down studio. The lights are bright, the cameras are rolling, and there's nowhere to hide. This isn't about promoting a fight. It's about dissecting the fighter. It's psychological warfare disguised as a conversation. The air in the room is thick with unspoken tension. You can feel it. Piers, ever the provocateur, starts by addressing the elephant in the room: legitimacy. He turns to Tank, his tone a mix of respect and challenge. "Gervonta," he begins, "you've paid your dues. You've climbed the ladder the traditional way. When you see someone like Jake Paul, with a fraction of your experience earning similar paydays and headlines, does that disrespect the sport you've dedicated your life to?" Tank, who is usually a man of few words, leans forward. His eyes, which are usually calm, have a flicker of intensity. He doesn't answer immediately. He lets the question hang in the air, a verbal jab testing his defense. "Respect is earned, not given," Tank says, his voice low and steady. "I've been in the trenches since I was a kid. I've bled for this. What he's doing, it's business. But this right here," he says, tapping his chest, "this is legacy. Business fades. Legacy is forever." Every word lands with the weight of a body shot. He's not just answering a question, he's drawing a line in the sand. Piers then swivels to Jake, a slight smirk playing on his lips. "Jake, you hear that? Legacy. He's talking about a foundation you haven't built. You fought retired MMA fighters, you fought basketball players. When are you going to step into the ring with a true, active, elite boxer in their prime? Someone like Gervonta Davis?" Jake Paul, ever the showman, doesn't flinch. He's been in the hot seat before. He thrives on it. He laughs, a short, sharp sound that cuts through the tension. "Piers, let's be real. 3 years ago, I was making YouTube videos. Today, I'm sitting across from one of the baddest men on the planet, and we're talking about a potential mega fight. Who else has done that? I'm the biggest thing in this sport, and that's what bothers them. It's not about legacy for them. It's about control. They're scared because I'm disrupting their old-school system." The temperature in the room seems to drop a few degrees. Tank's gaze is locked on Jake. It's a predator's stare, analytical and cold. He's not looking at a fellow celebrity. He's sizing up a potential threat, a piece of a puzzle he needs to solve. He interjects, cutting Jake off. "Disrupting or disrespecting? There are levels to this. You can't just buy your way to the top. You gotta go through the fire. You haven't been through the fire yet." This is where the interview transcends typical sports talk. It becomes a battle of philosophies. The traditionalist versus the modernist. The silent warrior versus the master marketer. Piers Morgan expertly peels back the layers, moving from their careers to their upbringings. He asks Tank about Baltimore, about the struggles that molded him, the hunger that still drives him even with millions in the bank. Tank's answers are raw and honest. He speaks of a reality far removed from Jake Paul's world of Hollywood mansions and social media fame. "Where I'm from," Tank says, Fighting wasn't a choice. It was survival. Every day was a fight. That's a different kind of hunger. It's not about views or likes. It's about making it to the next day. There's a profound sadness and a fierce pride in his voice. You understand that for him the boxing ring is a sanctuary, a place where the rules are clear and the outcome is in his hands. Piers then turns this mirror on Jake. And you, Jake? What's your hunger? You already have the fame, the money. What are you fighting for? Jake's demeanor shifts. The bravado softens, and for a moment, you see the person behind the persona. I'm fighting for respect, he says, his voice earnest. I'm fighting for all the kids who were told they couldn't do something. I was the goofy kid on Disney, the YouTuber nobody took seriously. I found boxing, and it gave me a purpose I never had. It saved me. So yeah, I might not have come from the same streets as Tank, but my fight is just as real. It's a fight against perception, against my own past. For a moment there's a flicker of understanding, a common ground. Both are fighters, albeit on different paths, but Piers Morgan, being Piers Morgan, isn't here to build bridges. He's here to test them. He brings up the trash talk, the social media wars, the personal insults. Gervonta, he's called you out by name, he's mocked your height, he's made it personal. How do you, a world champion, process that? A shadow crosses Tank's face. The calm demeanor cracks. Talk is cheap, he spits, the words sharp and venomous. On the internet, everyone's a tough guy, everyone's a killer, but when that bell rings, and it's just you and me, the talking stops, and all that internet stuff, it can't help you. The whole world can be watching, but in that ring, you're all alone. He's no longer just speaking to Piers. He's speaking directly to Jake, a chilling promise in his eyes. The final question is the one everyone's waiting for. So, Piers says, looking back and forth between them. Let's cut to the chase. Will this fight happen? Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul? Is it a fantasy, or is it inevitable? The silence is deafening. The weight of millions of fans, the future of a potential mega fight, all hangs on their answers. Jake is the first to speak, the confidence back in his voice. I'll fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. He knows my team's number. The ball is in his court. The world wants to see it. Let's give the world what it wants. All eyes turn to Tank. He leans back in his chair, a small, almost imperceptible smile on his face. It's not a friendly smile. It's the smile of a man who holds all the cards, who knows his own value. He looks at Jake, then at Piers, then directly into the camera, as if speaking to every single person watching. He wants the smoke, Tank says, his voice barely a whisper, yet it resonates like a gunshot in the silent studio. Everyone thinks they're ready, until they get hit. Let him keep talking. Let him keep building his brand. But he knows, and I know, when he's ready to really fight, to step into my world, I'll be waiting, and it won't be a game. The interview ends. The lights dim. But the battle has just begun. The words have been thrown like punches, and the psychological blows have landed. This wasn't just an interview. It was the first round of a fight that could define an era, a clash of worlds, a collision of legacies. And as the two men walk away, the world is left with one electrifying question. What happens when the talking finally stops? Thank you so much for watching. This is the kind of drama that makes boxing the most compelling sport on earth. What do you think? Who won the war of words? And who would win in the ring? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love deep dives into the world of combat sports, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.